Hello and welcome back to the Folio Society reviews. Here we have The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams, a novel published in 1979, and it is also probably my favorite comedy novel. It is a mix of comedy and science fiction, but yeah, it's a very funny book if you like that dry British humor. But this book is illustrated by Jonathan Burton and blocked with a design by the artist. And the Folio Society describes the binding material as cloth. I have to agree with that actually, even though the cloth is very hard. It feels very coated, but it doesn't look like buckram, although it feels like buckram. But yeah, I think describing the binding as cloth would be the right thing to do. But you can see that it is a special cloth which is coated with glitter to make it look like a starry night. Very fitting to the book, and it's also stamped. You can feel the stamps here on the front cover. Overall, texture of the book feels grainy, a solid cloth binding. And at the front cover here we have Marvin, the depressed robot, and here is the spine. And Folio Society has published all of the 5 books from Douglas Adams in this what is called a trilogy, even though it's 5 books. And I own all of them, and I will definitely show all of the books, but probably not as in-depth as this video will be, since they are quite similar. But yeah, really happy with the binding design and materials used for the book. It is also in a smaller format, you can see here, so not a very big book. But let's continue. When we continue inside, we get fitting dark blue end papers, which is a bit glittery as well. And here we can see the frontispiece, and we will also get some information about this edition. It's introduced by Terry Jones, illustrated by Jonathan Burton, and it was first published by the Folio Society in 2010. And this book is set in Sabon. It's printed on Abbey paper in Italy, and here are the list of illustrations. There are 8 of them, including the frontispiece. Then we get an introduction which is 8 pages long, and here starts The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And then let's move on to the text size. You can see that it is pretty much medium, slightly above medium in text size, so very readable. The paper is Abbey wove. Quite smooth paper, somewhat cream colored, standard Folio Society paper that you are used to. And it is of course acid-free, pH neutral paper. But now let's move on to check out Jonathan Burton's illustrations for this edition. Enjoy. And welcome back. At the end we can see that the book is 174 pages long, and papers at the back are exactly the same. And since the book is quite small, not many pages, you can see that the binding is quite tight here, the Smith's Own binding. We get a dark blue and silver colored headband, and the spine is rounded. So yeah, the binding is quite tight, very stiff, and doesn't open up at all, which definitely is a problem with most Folio Society books, I would say, especially those that are under 300-400 pages. And lastly, we get a slipcase that matches both the binding and the end papers, so the same glittery deep blue color. I hope you enjoyed this review of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and if you watched the test flight of the Falcon Heavy yesterday, where they launched a Tesla into orbit. That Tesla included, I think I read somewhere that they had a copy of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy on that car. And you can also see on the screen on the car that it said "Don't Panic," which is of course a reference to this book. Elon Musk is a pretty big fan of the Hitchhiker's Guide series. I'm a really big fan of this book as well, and I've read all of them, but I really enjoyed 1 and 2. The last 3 books are not that great. I can really recommend reading these books. Very fun. But if you have any questions about this book or any other book in my collection, then please leave a comment and I will answer it as quickly as I can. If you want to support this channel, you can do so in 2 ways. You can either go to my Patreon page, or you can use my Tashanet affiliate link, which you will find down in the description. But I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I hope I will see you all next time. Goodbye.